it's Wendy here again from Toonpish Crafts, and I hope you're doing okay. Now, a few weeks ago I did a video with washi tape and vitriol or vitra paints, and I went into my local store of the range recently while I was rummaging around to see what I could purchase, because I'm always looking for stuff. I come across these. Now these are wool washi tape, and I thought they were absolutely beautiful colours, and I'm going to have to use them in resin because they are gorgeous. But I also found some holographic tape. Now I didn't even know that was a thing, but I'm going to give it a go. Is that upside down? Yeah. But I'm going to give it a go and see how that turns out in resin. Let's see how I get on with this one.
I'm going to be using Vista Cascade today. This is quite a deep mould. It's quite cold here today, so I've got the heat mats out to make sure that the resin cures beautifully with no bubbles. This is a white sparkly glitter from Hemway. I'll put all the links in the description below, so you should be able to find them easily. This is silver white from a box set I bought from Amazon. And this is Aurora Silver from the cosmetic pigments that I found on Etsy. So my plan is to divide the resin up into 2 cups, put all the glitters and pigments that are sparkly in one, and the silver white in the other. And as it's Christmas, I am going to load it with glitter. I've also got some Milo flakes. I think they're called Milo flakes. They are from Resin Supplies Den, and I will put their link in the description below as well. So I'm going to pour all the glitter in the bottom, completely cover the bottom of all the moulds, and then I'm going to pour the white in the middle because I kind of want a cloudy feather effect, if you see what I mean. Glitter will always fall to the bottom unless you've let the resin really thicken up. And if you do that, you're more likely to get bubbles that won't come out, and I don't like bubbles. So I'd rather let the resin do its thing and let all the glitter go to the bottom. You still get a sparkle. Don't get me wrong, you still get a sparkle, but when you turn them over, all the glitter will be at the back. Now, to get rid of all those little pesky bubbles that get stuck in the right angle, I use a micro brush just to go right the way around each edge and get out any stuck bubbles. And it's time to put the white in the centre. Now, as I said, this is quite fresh resin. I haven't let it sit, so I want it to kind of push out into each other, if you see what I mean. Because it's clear resin with glitter, the white should go all fluffy around the edges. That's the plan anyway. And I just mixed up a touch more for the white as I was running short, just to top it up a little. Generous squirt of isopropyl alcohol, and you can see that the colours, or the white and the clear, are dissipating into each other, which is great. That's what I wanted. Now I have a little bit of clear left, so I decided to put that in the dead centre. And another generous squirt of isopropyl alcohol. So these are not to the top of the mould. They're only about halfway at the moment because I'm going to do another layer. But that's the cloudy effect that I was going for, and I absolutely love it. I love the way it's come out. It's amazing what resin does, really, isn't it? I know it does its own thing, but oh, it's so gorgeous what it does sometimes. So this is the washi tape that I'm going to be using. Copper is a bit of an in colour at the moment, I think. But I really like it too. That and rose gold, definitely. I'm into that at the moment. So deciding which one to choose, I think I went with the stripes because dots on a star really doesn't go together in my opinion. So I wanted to go with lines, so the stripes kind of worked in my head. Now the resin mould I thought had straight sides until I tried to put tape on it, and then I realised that actually the sides of the stars are not, they're kind of concave. So the tape will have to be away from the edge, but that's fine. So I was just figuring out in my head how I was going to do this, where I was going to put the tape and to what best effect I could get. The first bit I put down I actually take up later on because it's not the same size as the other pieces. But washi tape comes off really easy. It's got a sticky to it, but it's not too sticky that you can't remove it. It's quite nice stuff actually. Apologies for the head in the frame. So once I figured out what it was I was actually doing with each one, I counted 10 stripes, so 10 copper pieces, and then I cut all the pieces to 10. That meant that the first piece I put down that had 11 had to come up, and the piece that went down instead had 10. So yeah, I went around all the coasters and I put 10 on each, apart from the base. So these are snowflakes which I made in a previous video. I'll put the link up on the screen. And I was demonstrating chameleon flakes and chameleon powders, and I want to use them in another Christmas project. And this one is perfect. I'm going to put some table scatter stars in as well, just to brighten it up a bit more. As it's Christmas, there's nothing wrong with sparkle. So pouring the Vista Cascade in, and now I'm going to put the snowflakes in the centre and use a pair of tweezers to make sure they're all pushed down and there's no bubbles in them. And making sure they're as centred as possible as well. And I'll go around and do that for all the coasters. So when I'm happy with those, then I'm going to put the table scatters in. As they stick together, it's the easiest way possible, I think, to make sure the little stick you're picking them up with is quite damp. So I'll pop it into the resin and use the resin on the end of my micro brush to pick out a star. I hope that makes sense. So as the resin's been sitting for a little while, I'll make sure I squirt it with isopropyl alcohol, as I haven't done that already. And on to the next one. Now I'm just going to skip this part because you can see what I've done, you can see what I'm doing. And you don't want to sit there watching me do that for hours. It's not hours, but a while. So they're all done, and now it's time to just let them cure. And using the heat mat means that they will cure beautifully. "24 hours later, and it's time to demould. I've got a lovely sparkle on the back, and although there's a little bit of overpour which I will trim up, I think they've come out really, really well. I'm very pleased with the way they've come out. These moulds are really nice, to be honest. When you're buying budget moulds, you never know how they're going to turn out, but these ones are really, really cool. And they're a great size too. Now I did fill the base part up a little too far, and I do have to go back and trim the edges because otherwise the coasters won't fit in the holes, but that's my issue, that's not the moulds.
Well, as you saw at the beginning, I had quite a few different types of washi tape and I only use one. I have used the holographic film tape in another project and I will link that. But this is how they've turned out and I absolutely love them. Absolutely. I did have to trim up the bottom piece quite a lot, but that was because I overspilled and that was my own fault. The moulds are very good indeed, actually. And each star, I love the copper tape. I think it's adorable. And with those snowflakes in the middle, I think they just make amazing Christmas coasters. And you can even use them as hanging stars if you put a hole in the top and something to hang with, a bit of ribbon. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Come back and see me next week because you never know what I'm going to be up to. I'll put some stills up at the end. Have a great week and a great Christmas. Bye for now.